Hi everyone and welcome. This is MJ and this is another spiritual journey tarot. So meetings where we connect with our souls, with our spirits, and we allow them to speak and we listen and try to learn from what they have to say. Okay, I started those sessions as spiritual journey, but I realized the deeper I go into the topics, the more I realize that this is actually a personal growth path as well. So the more we connect with our souls and the more we strive to make our spirit happy, the better we become as a person, meaning that we support our personal growth. That is not only an inner growth, but it then emanates on the outside, and it benefits our life not only in that spiritual space, but in our private space, in our relationships, at our work, in our career, in the way we pursue life. So it still is going to be the spiritual journey, but I realized that the meaning of those sessions is actually a lot deeper. Now, I started this as a kind of a self-therapy, and those topics that I am covering here are always based on something that I am going through or something that I have been thinking about for myself. And then I realize, hey, this is what I can share with others. And today's topic is self-love, okay? And how to be our own best friend. And obviously, this is not a topic that we can cover within one session. There are so many aspects of self-love and so many, factors that influence it. It's like our inner child, healing past traumas, healing our past hurts. All of this is a part of becoming our best friend and learning self-love. But we have to start somewhere. So we're just starting with this topic today. And self-love, when I was preparing myself and I was shuffling the deck to get at least one card to start, to jumpstart, what I got was the Wheel of Fortune, but in the reverse. And I want to read to you what the book has to say, because it says, "We are all at the mercy of fate. Don't struggle against your destiny. As time passes, the situation will improve." Now, what I realized is why it's in reverse is because when I think about self-love, I think we are not at the mercy of fate. Yes, with time, everything improves and healing needs time as well, but it says don't struggle against your destiny. I think, it may be my personal opinion, but I think that when it comes to self-love, we should actually struggle against challenges. That we are not at the mercy of fate. Our self-love is our task. It's something that we should consciously make decisions about, consciously pursue. Okay? So not only allow things to happen there are things we are meant to go through on our path towards self-love, and that's where we should not fight against our destiny, right? But the self-love itself is something that we should absolutely consciously pursue, consciously explore, try to understand what it means to us, the specific aspects of self-love that we may need to heal, right? In order to become our best friends and really self-love ourselves. When you look at this card, there's this butterfly girl, and I know that it's not focusing the best, but she's pinned to that Wheel of Fortune, right, with some pins, and and there's even a little chain on her feet. It's like she's stuck. There's nothing she can do. It's almost as if she was exactly what the book said, at the mercy of fate. I am missing the word. As if she was... Okay, it's gonna come back to me. I'm sorry, English is not my native language. That word is gonna pop out in my head. A victim. Thank you. See, I said it's gonna pop out. It's almost as if she was the victim of fortune, right? And the fortune is throwing those pins at her, and her wings are stuck, which means that this beautiful butterfly is not able to fly, so do what she's meant to do. But she's stuck and being that victim and being at the mercy of fate, right? So that's why I think when it comes to self-love, it should be reversed. We are not victims of fate. Yes, there are certain things, as I said, that happen in our life. We have past experiences. We may have family traumas, childhood traumas. Our inner child may be hurt. We may have a lot of things to heal, especially when it comes to appreciating ourselves, realizing our self-worth, right? So there are things that we were meant to go through. But when I said we should be consciously pursuing self-love against those challenges, right? And that's why I think it's in reverse, to tell us that this is in our hands. Our self-love, that healing and becoming our best friends is absolutely in our hands. No one is going to give this to us. It's our job, if we want to really find that self-love, then it's our job to pursue and find it. Okay? So let's see what other inspirations we can get. I will try to keep this as short as possible because I really think that self-love will be the topic that will stay within those sessions for quite some time, especially that, as I also said, I am exploring areas that I go through myself, and I think this is the time when I finally grew up to the point of really finding my self-love. I have been looking for it for many years, but I think now it's the time when I realize that I either find it, okay, this is a little too much, or I either find it or I will lose it forever, right? I think it's like the high time. It's almost like the judgment moment. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords. Let's see what the book says. This particular book has really interesting sentences for each card. It's extremely short, but it's very inspirational. So let's see. One who rushes in without adequate planning may harm others through carelessness and reckless haste. Okay, so that is very interesting. When it comes to self-love, does it mean that we need adequate planning? Probably yes, right? May harm others through carelessness and reckless haste. We may hurt ourselves by being careless. We may look for self-love in the wrong places. When it comes to that adequate planning, I think it's about first realizing in which areas our self-love is lacking. So as I said, it may be healing childhood issues, past traumas, past experiences when we were hurt by others, where our self-esteem was being taken down, when we were losing confidence in ourselves. I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve happiness, I don't look good, I'm not good looking enough to find love, for example. And we often we look to find that validation in the external world, in other people, and in their eyes, when in fact the first and the only person that should validate our self-worth is us, is this person, right? The person that we see in the mirror. So I think that's why the Knight of Swords shows up. And it says, don't rush in without adequate planning. So try to identify those areas where you lack self-love. Is it your self-worth when it comes to relationships? Is it career related? Is it those past experiences that I said, maybe childhood experiences, right? So we should identify the areas for improvement before we can dig into them. We may harm others through carelessness and reckless haste. We may hurt ourselves, but also maybe if we start pursuing our self-love in a too aggressive way. You know, the Knight of Swords typically is that person who is rushing for clarity, for truth. They want confrontation. They may want to be aggressive. I think this card, you know, she's flying on that paper bird. I think it says, you know, don't rush in, but like flow through that process slowly and gently so that you don't hurt others, because suddenly you will focus on yourself so much that you may become aggressive towards others. You may realize this person has not been treating me as I deserved. And that may be absolutely true, but does it mean that suddenly you should become aggressive towards that person and hurt them? Probably not, right? Because you may hurt yourself as well by doing this, because you may still care for that person. So it's also, I think, about gentle communication to others that, you know, maybe now, maybe in a relationship, for example, and we may need to communicate to our partner, hey, I realize that this is wrong, right? That I need to explore my self-love and my self-respect more, but I don't want to hurt you. It's not that I suddenly want to argue and just go into a battle mode with you, right? So I feel that that is exactly what the Knight of Swords is telling us. Explore this topic, absolutely, but flow through the process gently and with grace. Don't be aggressive, because you may turn that aggression against yourself and hurt others, and that's not what we are trying to do, right? And I think I will just leave it there for now. The Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and I actually am interested, I want to see inner turmoil, depression, clouded vision. Those birds in a cage, just like this butterfly girl pinned to the wheel. It's like being stuck in this. Eight of Cups is typically the card of letting go and leaving behind what is no longer serving us. And I think that's where those sessions will be going forward, okay? I think we will be discussing the self-love more and more and trying to get those birds out of the cage, out of that stagnation, letting our spirit free so that we can really learn to love ourselves, to find our freedom, but at the same time be able to do that. See, that's also a bird, right? I said flow through the process gently. So maybe it's the time for us to learn to fly again. If we have been suppressing this for so long, we may have forgotten how to fly. We may have forgotten how to self-love ourselves. But we can remind ourselves how to do that. It's just a process that we need to go through to get there. So I hope that you will join me next time. And if you enjoyed this, please consider hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell. I really hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, please take care of yourself and your spirit and love yourself. Bye.